Hello, welcome back to Armchair Armoury, and it's finished at the Amex Stadium. Brighton and Hove Albion 0, Arsenal 0. That was, I'm not going to say painful, but it was not a good performance overall. Oh yeah, I said that I probably wouldn't be able to do a review. We didn't end up going to said prior engagement in the end, so I got to watch the game. And I had a feeling this was going to happen. I thought, if I don't end up going to this thing, Arsenal are going to play bad and we're probably going to lose. Luckily, we didn't lose. And that's probably the most, other than like Emile Smith-Rowe and maybe Saka to some extent, and quite a decent performance from Gabriel Ramsdale and Ben White, this wasn't something to write home about. I'm glad that we didn't lose the game, and I'm glad that we didn't concede. We kept a clean sheet. It's 3 wins and 1 draw in this next batch of games, which isn't too bad, to be honest. I've always, for the past couple of seasons now, the Amex has been a really hard place to go, and I thought that I was very misled to think that we were going to go and do exactly the same thing that we did at Tottenham. Well, not exactly the same thing, but follow suit as we did with Tottenham and go out there and play and just play, basically. Yeah, it's a weird one. I don't really know how I feel about it. I'm not angry, and I'm not necessarily disheartened necessarily. I'm just glad that we didn't go into this international break with a loss. In general, I'm not. It got to a stage, Brighton played really, really well, and if they had their shooting boots on, they probably would have been 3-4-0 up. And, if some of the last-ditch tackles by Gabriel, and especially Ben White, we probably would have lost this game. And there comes a point in a game where you've got to think to yourself, we've just got to get the point and get out of there. It was a really, really bad rainy night in Brighton. It was, pissing it down, essentially. I'm not using that as an excuse. I'm not doing a tie and blaming the rain for the fact that we drew. But it wasn't the best conditions in the world. Brighton have been playing well recently. They've been in the top four, or in and around the top 4 since the start of the season. They're probably not going to finish there, obviously, but still, they've been playing well, and that's the thing. Like, we didn't have a hold on the game at all, and in a situation like that where you're literally being played off the park, you do just have to get out of there. You just have to get out of jail with something. The starting lineup was what I predicted. It was basically the same formation as Tottenham, except Lokonga came in for Xhaka, who's now injured for the next 3 months. And that's the other thing as well. I think we did, and I know you're not allowed to say it, and I know that you'll be considered demon if you say this, but I think we did miss Granit Xhaka today. I think that his kind of steeliness, when he plays well, is what we missed. I think Lokonga is a good prospect and a good player, but you can see in a game like this where you're up against it, a young player like Lokonga, first time in the Premier League, it's going to be a little bit more tough than having someone of experience like Xhaka in there. So I think we did miss that. But yeah, Tomiyasu had a really bad game today, was being left, right and centre by Cucurella. Like we were, it's Cucurella is how it's pronounced. Yeah, Cucurella. Yeah, he was completely ripping the shit out of Tomiyasu. This is probably Tomiyasu's worst game in an Arsenal shirt so far. I don't know. I just think we weren't there today, and I don't know why. But I'm not angry about it. It's one of those games where I'm happy that we didn't lose, but at the same time, I'm disappointed that we didn't follow on from the Spurs game. I was expecting to see a similar sort of performance today, but football is a funny thing sometimes. Ramsdale played all right, despite he nearly giving Brighton their best chance of the game. I think he spilt the ball, and I don't know which Brighton player it was. I can't remember, but he just knocked it over the bar, luckily. So I think in the second half we picked up a little bit, but first half we were really, really poor. And Brighton were just throughout the game. I'd say on the balance of things, Brighton probably deserved to take something from it. But again, as I say, Gabriel and Ben White and the defensive partnership were probably what kept us in the game. In terms of attacking, Ødegaard didn't have a good game today. I'd say Aubameyang was indifferent. Lacazette looked quite bright when he came on. Pepe looked quite bright when he came on, but it just wasn't there. For whatever reason, it just wasn't there. So, yeah, we just got to take it and move on. We go into into an international break now, and we've just got to take it. 10 points. We're sitting in 9th at the moment, which isn't great. Like, if we'd won today, we probably would have gone, I think, based on the results today. Let me just look at the league. Look at the league table. We would have going into the games on Sunday. So if we'd won today, we would have been on 13 points, which would have taken us into 6th. So, yeah, or 6th or 7th. So, yeah, it would have been good to be there. But at the end of the day, like, I'll take the draw. I don't care if that looks like
mediocrity.
What all these, like, naysayers say. The naysayers will look for any reason to beat the club with anyway. They'll just say that it's, that we're being sold a lie and that celebrating a draw is a bad thing. And that's the thing. I'm not necessarily celebrating the draw. I'm just saying in a situation that we were in, a draw is probably the best thing we could get out of it. I don't necessarily think Arteta got it wrong today. I just, for some reason, think we just didn't show up. And I can't put my finger on what it was. The players that have been playing so well recently just didn't turn up today. Apart from, like, Gabriel and Ben White, really. And to some extent, Ramsdale. Like, yeah, speaking of Ramsdale, he pulled off another great save that probably would have won the game for Brighton. Malpai, in the 85th minute, received the ball. It was coming into him, and just as it was coming into him, Ramsdale tapped it out. So, yeah, like, he's doing really, really well. And those were the 3 players that stood out for me. Maybe Smith Rowe as well. But the 3 defensive players in Ramsdale, the keeper, and the 2 centre-backs, they did all right today. So I'm pleased that we got out of there with at least a point. I mean, the next game now is Crystal Palace on Monday the 18th of October against Patrick Vieira. Patrick Vieira comes back to the Emirates, who he never played at the Emirates, actually. But yeah, Patrick Vieira comes back to Arsenal for the first time in God knows how long. I know that when he went to Juventus, so he left he left before our final season at Highbury, and we played him when he was playing for Juventus in the Champions League when we won 2-0 at Highbury. So I think that was the last time, unless I'm mistaken, that's the last time I remember him being involved in Arsenal in any sort of way. So yeah, it would be cool to see how Vieira fares against Arteta. But yeah, all we can do is just take the point and move on. As the kids say, we move. I'm going to leave it there. I will speak to you again armchair armory wise before the Crystal Palace game. So until I speak to you then, take care and stay safe.